on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an excellent day today. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in the green. Bitcoin up over 2%. Lots of altcoins in the deep green today. We had that major scare, that dump. Bitcoin got down to $47,000. We've had a major V-shaped recovery since then. You can see fear and greed index at extreme fear of levels 27. We haven't seen levels that low in quite a long time. Lots of people saying we were going to go a lot lower, sub 40K, into the $30,000 range. Well, in today's video, what I want to talk about is the fact that what I think we were actually seeing was what I'm going to refer to as bullish selling. And I know what you're saying, bullish selling? That doesn't make any sense. Well, stick around to the end of this video, because if you're going to watch one video, it's this one, because we have something really important I want to point out. We had a very similar situation, almost exactly happened to Bitcoin 2 months ago, where there was this crazy selling, crazy dump. People were calling for the end of the bull market. We had a V-shaped recovery and Bitcoin bounced 45% from those levels. So are we looking at something like this right now? Well, I want to talk about massive fundamental news specifically that is going to push Bitcoin to the masses, mainstream. And if you're worried about the fact that Tesla sold some of their Bitcoin, I'm going to explain to you today why that is nothing to be worried about. And I want to talk about some key levels specifically on the Bitcoin chart. If you are looking to trade this, there are lots of opportunities to make money. Stick around to the end of this video and I'm going to show you my exact targets. And also, friendly reminder, guys, I am not going to be around this week. So if you're watching this video, I might not have a chance to put a video out this week. Please go over and follow me on Twitter. It's at TheCryptoZombie. If you guys want those updates, I will be over on Twitter. In case I can't make a video, I will post over there, all right? I'll try my best, but I might not be able to. So once again, guys, if all that sounds good to you, like I said, stick around to the end. We're going to go over some key targets, very important charts I need to show you. And if that sounds good, get subscribed, hit the like button. You guys know the drill. You don't have to do that, but let's dive in and let's have a look. Now, just right here on the very, very short term 4 hour, I am super impressed with the fact that Bitcoin has actually been able to break this previous support as resistance right here. You can see we were dancing along it as support. Once we came down, resistance, resistance, resistance. We also had this very important level right here, this psychological level at 53,000. A lot of people were looking at that $1 trillion market cap for Bitcoin. And lo and behold, today, in my opinion, I believe we had a little bit of a double bottom right here. We broke through both of these resistances and we are sitting comfortably above both of them. So this is looking quite bullish for Bitcoin. You can see right here. In fact, we had a major trend line that was broken right here. You can see this major top at the $42,000 level in the blue zone. We came back down after the 54 top, all the way down again. We touched this level almost exactly. We closed the daily, we had the bounce, and lo and behold again, my friends, we have had the bounce off of those levels, and we have been able to make insane profits by playing these levels. In fact, you can see right here, we actually have 6.7, so 6.6 Bitcoin depending right here on profit. We're up 10% on our trade. This is absolutely amazing. And if you guys are interested in learning how to do this, first of all, you guys can get a $1,610 bonus on Bybit. They do 15% APY. So even if you're not trading at all, you're just holding your coins on the exchange, you still can earn interest. And if you guys want to get the extra $200 just by using the link below in the description, definitely check that out, guys. Make sure you use this link below. You can see CryptoZombie. I do have the verified check mark. Be careful of scammers. And if you guys are interested in my tutorial, if you want to learn how to trade, check that out popping up above. You can click that link if you are interested. But having a look right here, and I'm going to get to those levels. Stick around. I'll show you exactly how I'm looking to ladder in these buys for the trade that we have going on right now. But what I want to talk about first is the fact that we still do have this major CME futures gap. You see this giant blue box right here? We have a gap up at around $60,080, and these gaps tend to get filled. In fact, they almost always get filled. So at some point, even if you do think that Bitcoin needs to go lower, I do think we are going to fill this level. Now you can see right here, we are stuck in this blue zone right here, which actually, interestingly enough, was our previous Bitcoin futures gap right here. Now this gap was down at around all the way down at around $54,000. Now, keep in mind, Bitcoin had gone all the way up to 65,000. We did, in fact, dump down, and we did, in fact, close that gap, which is why I do think we are going to fill the gap above there as well. And the other thing I want to point out on the futures chart is if we actually zoom out here, you could see that we also had a legacy trend line which acted as resistance support. If we follow that all the way up here, we did have the bounce as well. So when you see these types of bounces, you know that this is essentially what they refer to as bullish selling, right? It's people taking profits. However, we saw in my video from 2 days ago that it was a lot of whales buying and smaller retail selling. So people who had just entered the market for speculation, they were selling, we were washing out the weak hands, and the big whales were the ones that were buying. In fact, Dan Tapiro over here, you guys can see he's the founder and CEO of 10T Holdings. He says a very rare TD signal in Bitcoin. Last one came right at the March 20 low. Still see $100,000 for Bitcoin this year. Overwhelmed with calls of panic the last few days over what is unchanged price action, i.e. still at 50K. HODL is the only way to be long without emotion. Okay? So obviously when there's lots of fear, that's when you want to buy. You know, we were seeing massive fear over here in the fear and greed index. Dan is saying he's getting a lot of calls of people freaking out about Bitcoin, and that is when you want to buy. You want to buy when there is blood in the streets. Now, let me show you something super quick before we get to, my targets and places to ladder in your buys. I want to show you the fact that we put in a very similar falling wedge starting back here in February 21st that ended all the way down here on February 28th, right? So it was right here. This is the 4-hour chart. We had this falling wedge. Now, this is very similar to what we saw right here. You could see we were bouncing around, putting in a lower high, putting in a lower low, putting in a lower high, lower low. Finally, we had the breakout, and from the bottom to the top right here, you could see we ended up putting in a 44%, almost 45% bounce. Now, keep in mind, from the breakout, from the bottom to the top, we had a 22% bounce, right? And then from that 22%, we had a 12% pullback. Now, having a look at where we are right here in the chart, if we were to bounce from bottom to top, 22% would put us right here at about $57,580, which actually would line us up very well with almost the top of the peak right here before the pullback. Now, you want to look for these trends. You want to look for resistances, flipping support. You want to look for confluence in the chart, right? These are very important. So even if we were to have that pullback again, we would probably be looking for support right here where we had this cluster at around 51,000. So don't be frightened if the Bitcoin price pulls back. These are those levels I would be looking for buying. So you could see everyone was panicking. The market was over. We were falling. Doom and gloom. Boom. We pumped. Same exact thing happened recently, guys. We're falling. We're going to 30K. Everyone's panicking. And boom. This is a bull market, my friends. You do not want to be shorting in a bull market unless you can time it. Then, if you can get in and get out quick, great. If not, hodl or low leverage longs. Not financial advice, but that is the way to be treating this. Now, the next resistance that we're looking at is right here at around 56,000. Let me actually move this down and make it a little bit bigger, guys. We're looking at 56,262. I'm sorry about that. And you can see right here, that's this purple level right here, right? So if you are, let's say, looking to long or you're waiting for a bit of a pullback, do I think we're going to go up in a straight line? No, guys, nothing goes up in a straight line. The places in the areas that I would be looking for, now these are low leverage laddered buys, okay? I'm talking 3x max, 25% of your position, right? That is how we would do this. So we come down here to these levels, 52,500. That would be the first buy-in. The next level would be down here, 50,123. The reason for that is because you could see we had a lot of this resistance right here and right here before we broke out, and also it acted as support right here. So that's a very important level. We also have this VPVR bottom right here, where we also had a lot of support as well. Support where we bounced right here, and that's at the 47,363 level. And obviously, guys, the worst case scenario that we've pointed is this blue box right here, and that would be where you would flip the major top into the major resistance, testing it one more time for a giant double bottom, and once again that would be the $44,000 level. And again, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, make sure you head over and check out the tutorial for Bybit. The links are below. Like I said, I'm not going to be around this week, so these are the levels I'm going to leave you guys with. But if you want to learn how to do that, watch the tutorial. I go over absolutely everything in that tutorial. Now, let me just explain to you why. Another reason I believe that this was bullish selling. Friends, we needed a cool off. Look at this. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. 6 months, okay, of just straight green candles. Even during the 2017 bull run, we never had 6 straight months of green candles. You know, right here, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had a pullback. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. You know, you got to go way, way, way back. I don't even have the charts that far because this is Bitfinex. But my point that I'm trying to make is we needed a red candle. We needed a cool off. And if you think that this is a bearish candle, it is not a bearish candle. Look at the amount of buy on the bottom. Look at that wick. This is a hammer. This means that we came all the way down here and all of this wick represented buying, right? So this is a bullish bearish candle, if that makes sense to you. We have 3 days left of the month. At the time of making this video, you guys might be watching it at a different point. I am more than happy to put in a red candle so we can reset it. We flushed out the weak hands. We flushed out the over leveraged longs, and the shorts got wrecked as well. The funding is resetting. We got our red candle, and now we can start again, continuing on the uptrend up to 100K. And, you know, I want to repeat this again because I already mentioned this, but Willy Woo, he had pointed about Bitcoin, $1 trillion market cap, 14% of the supply last moved around that area. And, you know, he said, anyone thinking that we're going into a prolonged price correction needs to know about the rate of new users coming into the network per day. We are in the middle of a bull market with a hockey stick of new adoption, especially in the last 2 weeks. Coins continue to move to very strong hands while the newer players are selling, the bigger money is buying. Now, I know what you're saying. Wasn't Elon Musk, didn't Tesla sell? We'll get to that in a second, but you can see miners, Bitcoin miners are not even selling. Look at all of this green right here. Net position change. This means that they are hodling. They are holding Bitcoin. They are holding it for the long term. They had their selling. They took their profits. Price fell. And, you know, any of the smart money knows you buy the dips, you buy the blood, right? So that's why I was saying we were having bullish selling. In fact, another proof of bullish selling is just what happened with Tesla. Now, in their earnings call, they stated that they sold $272 million worth of Bitcoin in the first quarter. With the price of Bitcoin appreciating since the acquisition, the company's BTC value may have grown to $2.72 billion, indicating that Tesla likely sold, are you ready for this? 10% of their Bitcoin holdings. According to the slide deck, selling Bitcoin helped them make 101 million positive impact. Now, people are saying, why are they selling? Well, first of all, as I say on this channel multiple times, it's always good to take profits. Yes, I believe in Bitcoin long term. Yes, I'm going to hold Bitcoin long term, but you need to take profits because having profits on paper, great, but you need to realize those gains as well. But there's something even more important than just realizing the gains of the market. You can see right here in this tweet, let me open it up on Twitter. So Dave Portnoy was kind of, poking jabs at it. So am I understanding this correctly? Elon Musk buys Bitcoin, then he pumps it, it goes up, then he dumps it, makes a fortune. Listen, I own 1 Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is exactly who he thought it was. Just don't be the last one hodling the bag. To which Elon Musk replied, no, you do not. I have not sold any of my Bitcoin. Tesla sold 10% of its holdings, essentially to prove liquidity of Bitcoin as an alternative to holding cash on balance sheets. Now, there's 2 things you need to take away from this. Number 1, he says, I have not sold any of my Bitcoin, okay? So number 1, this pretty much indicates that Elon Musk is holding Bitcoin, even though he didn't come out and say it, but he did say he hasn't sold any of my, meaning his Bitcoin, number 1. And number 2, this demonstration of showing the liquidity of Bitcoin is potentially even more massive than them buying it in the first place. It shows that these big corporations are now able to take Bitcoin, hold it on their balance sheet as a liquid asset, and when they do need to convert it into liquid funds, maybe even into cash, that is something that is able to be done. And Tesla just proved that. So everyone out here saying, oh, Elon Musk and, how could they do this? It wasn't as bad as everyone was saying. Just another example of bullish selling, right? Which is kind of the theme of today's video. Now, speaking about something massively fundamental, pay attention to this. JP Morgan finally joins Bitcoin institutional adopters. We heard about this, right? What's the big deal? Well, they're looking to debut their Bitcoin fund that will allow high net worth investors to invest, right? So institutional Bitcoin solution provider New York Digital Investment Group is going to be providing custody for JP Morgan. The actively managed Bitcoin fund could be available this summer. Actively managed means that you will actually have the ability to have access to these funds. It's not going to be something where, these guys take care of it for you. It's kind of like how you have physically settled Bitcoin futures versus cash settled, right? If they're physically settled, you actually need the underlying asset. So in this case, you know what? That wasn't actually the best example, but it is bullish because look, it proves two main things. First, it shows that the bank is now interested in the price of Bitcoin surging. Notably, Bitcoin has continued to rise beyond the expectations of many in the past of the year. And secondly, the entrance of JP Morgan underscores the mega bank's confidence in the United States government not banning Bitcoin. Now, we've heard a lot of people saying Bitcoin, could be banned. Ray Dalio was coming out and talking about Bitcoin getting banned. But in truth, the government has stepped up its oversight on crypto in recent years. However, an outright ban on Bitcoin seems blatantly implausible. And we do believe that JP Morgan clearly knows that this is the case. Now, if you want to talk about just demand for Bitcoin, we've seen institutional demand. What we've seen with Tesla, this is huge. Buying Bitcoin and putting it on their balance sheet was huge, but potentially selling Bitcoin for and keep in mind, they only sold 10%. It's not like they're dumping their bags. They did it to prove a point. And look at this. The CEO of PayPal has said that demand for the online payments firm's crypto services have incredibly exceeded their projections. They said that we have seen a multiple fold to what we initially expected. There is a lot of excitement. They say they've been looking into this type of technology for quite some time. They've been waiting for the right moment to pull the trigger. And right now, they said they see the need for digital currency. They say that they're seeing these trends in the financial system that points to the decline of cash and the rise of digital currency. According to Schulman, the shift will facilitate a massive transformation in the current financial infrastructure. Quote, he says, in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see more change in the financial system than you have over the past 10 to 20 years. How do we think about modernizing the existing financial infrastructure? It needs modernization because it is inefficient today. If you cash a financial check, it can take 3 days to get your money. If you do an international remittance, it can take 7 days to get your money. And something that a lot of Bitcoin naysayers do not understand, like, oh, it takes 10 minutes to send Bitcoin. It's too slow. Right. But it takes 3 days to 7 days to send your money internationally. And I know what you're saying. I go to the store, I use my credit card, I buy something. Well, what you don't understand about that scenario, or maybe you do, because a lot of my viewers are smart out there. I know you guys are smart. That's why you're watching this channel. But some people don't know this. Those are just glorified IOUs. When you swipe your debit or credit card, they're basically just saying, well, your credit card is credit, so you don't even have the money. But debit, they're basically just saying, oh, K-Dub, he has the money in his account. We're verifying that. We're going to cover the costs for now. We'll send it over in a bit. And then they get the money. It's just a glorified IOU system, right? It's no different than having a centralized, layer for Bitcoin or what decentralized exchanges are doing. But the fact that you actually get the underlying asset, the physical Bitcoin, literally in your wallet in under 10 minutes, anywhere across the globe, try sending gold to your friend on the other side of the world in under 10 minutes for, a fraction of, literally $1. No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, my friends. So, following major sell-offs in cryptocurrency markets, here's another thing that was causing some FUD that we need to talk about. And this was Joe Biden looking for capital gains, tax increase, right? He was looking to increase it up to like 44%. Well, a senior Biden administrator official claimed that only 0.3% of taxpayers in the U.S. would actually be affected by these heavier levies on their investments under these new capital gains taxes. So for the majority of us, unless we're in the 0.3%, don't worry about it. Doesn't pertain to us. It's just FUD. It's nothing to worry about. But something that I did warn you guys, and this was a major warning for anyone holding altcoins right now. Bitcoin is at its lowest levels since we had way back here in July of 2018. Bitcoin is at 50% dominance. If we break these levels, we could potentially be looking for one of the craziest alt runs we have ever seen in the history of Bitcoin. And as I said, I'm keeping very close eyes on this, because if we break back above sort of this 55% level, we may start going the other way. But as you can see right here, and this is proof, not only is Ethereum outpacing Bitcoin recently, we have seen Ethereum hit new all-time highs, and the massive growth of Ethereum's futures and options arena is reportedly pointing towards significant institutional involvement. In fact, according to a recent report by crypto investment advisory firm 2 Prime Digital Assets, the 80-fold growth in Ethereum option open interest goes beyond mere retail speculation. As a part of its report, the firm argued that institutional money managers have moved in to start hedging net long portfolios against outside volatility events. Amid the growing institutional demand for ETH, 2 Prime also predicted that Ether will decouple significantly from Bitcoin's price action. The 2 Prime report also maintained that the involvement of big money players will cause a steady decrease in realized volatility. So we are already seeing Ethereum start to decouple from Bitcoin. In fact, although the markets do tend to mostly follow Bitcoin, right? We saw Bitcoin pull back, Ethereum hit a new all-time high, and then pulled back as well. But it has recently actually started to outpace Bitcoin yet again. We've seen a lot of the altcoins, as you can see right here, much of them in the deeper green: BNB, XRP, ADA, Litecoin, XLM, Chainlink, VET, Theta, Aave. So obviously these are currently outpacing Bitcoin, and even on the lower levels, Ethereum slightly above Bitcoin on the daily. So this is definitely showing that there is an extreme interest in that. Now, I also just wanted to mention the fact that a lot of people ask me about Dogecoin. I'm just going to make a statement on that. Look, at the end of the day, guys, if you are willing to buy the coin and hold the coin for long term, then most likely you will do quite well on Dogecoin. It is a meme coin, obviously, but for example, just to point it out, you actually had, Mark Cuban. He went over on the Ellen DeGeneres show, and he was talking about Bitcoin is like digital gold. He says Ethereum is like digital currency, NFTs, cool collectibles. But he says Dogecoin is better than a lottery ticket. Now, this was an interesting statement. I actually have to agree with him in a weird way, right? So like lottery tickets or scratch-offs or scratchers, whatever you want to call them, essentially, these are all, pre-planned, right? The scratch-offs, for example, whatever. And think about the odds of winning lottery. Whereas Dogecoin is something that, it has a community, it has people behind it. It is very inflationary. It does need constant capital to keep it afloat. But he talks about it, and he says he's become a fan of it. He said that he bought some Doge with his son, Jake. He believes that Dogecoin is a good investment. And he says people are using the coin more actively. In fact, over here, he explains that people are actually using Dogecoin via BitPay for transactions, to buy stuff over at their store, which is quite interesting. So that is something to note. And also, guys, as far as NFTs are concerned, Binance announced today that it plans to launch a non-fungible token marketplace in June. Now, we have seen a lot of these types of marketplaces out there, a lot of NFT cryptos out there, but Binance being the big dog, they do have a lot of the market share. Are they going to put a lot of these other guys out of business? Well, it's going to enable the creation or minting of NFTs, trading and feature selects works through premium exhibitions, etc. Users will be able to create, mint, and deposit artwork from different chains, according to Binance. So Binance, man, these guys, they just, look at what they did with BSC. They're doing it with NFTs. They became the world's largest exchange. So definitely pretty crazy. And also for anyone out there asking about, all these different altcoins and things like Dogecoin, etc., you actually can trade these over at Femex. If you haven't checked it out, I do also have a Femex tutorial. There is $200 in bonuses if you're interested. You can actually trade a ton of altcoins. They do have a much larger selection than Binance, so I do have a tutorial above. And that is it for me, guys. So thank you so much for coming back to the channel. As I said, once again, head on over to my Twitter. I will be over there. You know, if you don't have a Twitter, just make a Twitter. It takes like 30 seconds. Just sign up with an email, follow me at TheCryptoZombie. And, you know, if you guys are interested in learning how to trade, do check out those tutorials. If you are confused, you know, just pause this video, go back, rewatch it. I showed you my key levels, but that is it for me. So thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. I love you. You're awesome. You're the reason that I make these videos every single day, except not for the next week because I am a little bit busy, but you're amazing. If you want to also join the free Telegram group, check it out in the description. We hang out. We just talk crypto all day. It's absolutely free. And once again, please, 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 in the comments, there are so many scammers. If it does not have the verified check mark, like right here, guys, you see my verified check mark? It's not me. It's a scammer. Only legitimate comments will be pinned or you'll see this check mark. So please don't get scammed. That's it for me today. Thank you so much. If you guys have not seen the videos popping up right here, right now, make sure you click them right now. And that is it for me. My name's K-Dub. This is CryptoZombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.